Whoa! What do we got here? We got ourselves Sentai, Super Sentai, and Project Red toys. We're gonna do some comparisons. We're gonna see which is better, TEGA Sword Sama or Gavarion Trigger Sama. What's his name? Well, this is the Gavarion Trigger, but the robot's called Cosmo Gavarion, I believe. Because obviously the Gavarion Trigger was influenced by TEGA Sword, right? The TEGA Sword, if you don't know, was the #1 selling boys toy in Japan in 2025. I'm not making that up. That has been officially reported. And also the 5th most sold toy in Japan in 2025 overall. So that, like, obviously Bandai and Toei, they're all like, hey, whoa, TEGA Sword did pretty well. Why don't we do the same thing with the Gavarion Trigger, you know, have basically a robot and a changer in one toy. Well, I guess not only that, robot, changer, and weapon all in one toy, right? So let's see what we're working with. So we got both TEGA Swords here. I'm gonna move TEGA Sword out of the way. We're gonna be taking a look at the weapon versions, weapon/changer versions of these two toys. This guy technically upside down, but you know he's supposed to be this. So he's a pew pew pew. He's a gun, right? Correct. That is correct. Thank you. So this one, TEGA Sword, is a hand sword thing. It's a hand sword, while the Gavarion Trigger is a blaster/ship. As far as uniqueness goes, I would say the TEGA Sword is more unique. You know, it's a hand and a sword. That's pretty unique, right? Ship and blaster, I feel like that's happened before, not in just Sentai, but also like, you know, just in Toku in general and just like toys in general, right? As far as aesthetics go, right? So we got the silver version here, right? But I guess this will also apply to the gold version. The people at Bandai, was it Bandai or Toei? I don't remember, but the people at one of those companies were saying that they tried really hard to kind of get that nice gold for TEGA Sword, and I would imagine even the silver too. They tried to get that nice gold or silver paint to make it look like they do now. And you can really tell there's like a nice shine, a very nice shine to TEGA Sword. And we also got the clear parts, right? Softer, but clear parts for the sword part. And overall, there's just a little more color, right? When it comes to Gavarion Trigger, like, yes, you got a little bit of red, right? You got your whites, you got your blacks, you got your grays. Not the most exciting colors, right? Not the most exciting color combination. But not only that, like, the paint on this guy doesn't pop as much as this guy. The paint on this is pretty plain. It's pretty dull. I mean, especially when you compare it to TEGA Sword. I mean, look at that paint. Like that, like, come on. Like that's got some shine to it. Again, even the silver version, right? There's a shine to it. Okay, let's talk about the sounds in each one of these. Okay, so we're gonna get our TEGA Sword. And yeah, so he's got punchy sounds. You can also hold this down. And he's got 3 different voice phrases. That's without any gimmick. Now, we add a gimmick. We're going to take our Go Ranger Sentai ring. Right? We got a fun little tune to that. You know, we got a tune when we put in the ring, and we got a tune when we transform. And also the lights. The lights are very, very nice. Very nice LEDs. Lots of different colors. And we got a finishing sound. Right there. So we got a final attack. And we can still do Oh, there you go. We can still do all those kinds of sounds. So with the Gavarion trigger, so this thing also has lights. So we got trigger sounds, right? Got an orange light coming out of that. Very, very nice. And you hold it down. We then switch to ship mode. Literally just turn it around, bring out the wings, and now it's a ship. And you press this down, more sounds. All right, that's a ship sound, okay? And then you can switch it back. That is also the sound you get when you turn it on, which is a pretty long sound compared to like. So yeah, not that long of a sound. That just really depends on whether or not you like longer sounds, I guess. For me personally, when you turn it on, I prefer a quicker sound because I want to play with the toy. But you know, that's not. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. But anyways, when we put in the Emolgear, we're going to take our Gekido Emolgear. Then get a long sound. Now you can skip through this sound by holding down the trigger. Or just pressing it down as she's talking. So that's nice. So I like the options. That's the thing. I like the options on this thing. You can have a longer sound if you want to. And if you don't want to, you could skip through it. You can switch this between ship and gun mode, which is something you can't do here. This is always a hand. Oh, sorry. This is always a hand and a sword at the same time, right? And then obviously when you transfer it to Robo, right? This one, you can switch it between ship and trigger. Now, granted, you know, it's a very simple transformation. You just flip it upside down and then you pop out the wings. But again, I do like the option, especially like with the sounds. You know, you can hold it down, switch the mode. That's cool. And then you can also do your final attacks. Just like that. So when it comes to putting in the gimmick item, this one's very easy, right? TEGA sword, you put the Sentai ring in, you call it a day. This thing, instead of acting like a normal blaster or a normal gun, you gotta open this dude's legs and then put the thing in. You know? Which, I'm not that much of a fan of that, you know? And even like when you activate the final attacks, you still have to open up his legs in order to activate that final attack. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but like, it's weird kind of going in there and being like, you know, like, I wish I wish there was a way for them to like not do all that. I am going to be doing another video comparing Emolgears to other Sentai and Rider gimmicks that I feel like have influenced this guy. But when it comes to comparing these two, essentially, when it comes to what they do in their respective changers, the amount of playability these things have is probably about the same, I would say. Sentai rings, they essentially, you just have your transformation sound and your final attack, and then you're done. Same thing with the Emolgears. You have your transformation sound, your final attack sound, and that's pretty much it. Now, that's only for the transformation ones. It's different when it comes to these assist ones. These assist ones, you literally put it in the thing, and then it's only a final attack sound. So that, yeah. What's also unique about these two changes is that there are gimmick items that act as the head of the Robo. So TEGA Sword Sama has Sentai rings that act as the head, and then the GAVARION trigger also has whatever this thing is to act as the head. See, as you can see, bam, right there. Oh, there you go. And then this one's very easy. You can just pop it out right there. Bam. As far as sounds go, these probably also function similarly. For TEGA Sword, when you put in the ring, you have to open up the legs in order to activate the sound, the transformation sound. For this guy, you have to put it in the ship mode and then put this guy in, and then it'll activate the sound. So either way, you have to do something in order to activate the transformation sound. So I'm going to quickly transform these. Okay, we got the two there. So the GAVARION trigger is bigger. He's a bigger boy. Look at that. He's a pretty sizable amount bigger, I would say. They both got lights, as you can see there. Right there and right there. Very, very cool. Obviously, you can see the light more here, right? This is just a bigger section for the light. Here, it's just this little part on one side of the chest. It would have been nice to have it on both sides of the chest, but this one has the sounds. We're also going to bring out TEGA Sword Sama, actual TEGA Sword Sama. Obviously, the gold stands out a lot, right? The gold stands out a lot. It's much more noticeable when compared to the GAVARION trigger. And again, once again, aesthetic-wise, both TEGA Swords just have that shine to it. There's just more of a shine to the paint compared to like this. There's no shine. Like it's just the only shine that you can really see is on the orange face, and then maybe a little bit on his feet right here. But it's nothing compared to what these guys got going on here. Again, we got the translucent wings, which look really nice. There's no translucence here. And especially with the universe version, I really like the blue. The blue really makes this thing pop. It's such a, like, it's a small thing, right? It's just on his wings and on his sword that I should probably pop out. But like, man, that blue really just, it really makes the whole thing look even nicer. You could pop out this ring and you could put whatever ring you want, right? Like that's that's fun. This thing too, you could put whatever thing you want there. I can't compare this, but there are auxiliary mechs. So this guy's got, you know, all the other Goju weapons that you could put on this guy. You got to change the head and everything. And then this thing also has some other auxiliary mech. I personally prefer, aesthetic-wise, I prefer the Gozyuger ones. I'm not a fan of the ones that have been released so far for the GAVARION trigger. Okay, I'm going to give my overall thoughts about these toys and which one I like better overall. Now, this is a re-recording of this part of the audio because I feel like the first time I recorded this part, I think I was a little too harsh on the GAVARION trigger, so this is my new updated thoughts. But everything that I have said up to this point in the video is still true. Now, when it comes to these toys, TEGA Sword Sama wins when it comes to aesthetics. Both in the hand/sword mode, I should say, and the robot mode. I really like the gold. I like the paint. I also like the silver on the universe version. The Sentai rings look really nice on both of these toys. So overall, aesthetic-wise, TEGA Sword wins. However, when it comes to playability, I think the GAVARION trigger wins. I typically like gun changers. I really like the Gabu revolver from Gozyuger. I really like the Versus changer from Lupat. I really like the Dawn Blaster from Dawn Brothers. Like, those are all really fun to play with. The Gavarion trigger is also fairly fun to play with. The only thing is that it just lacks how it looks. I'm not a fan of the gun/ship mode. The robot mode is better than, the gun and the ship mode, but again, it just lacks that sauce. Like it again, like I said earlier, the paint is just very dull in comparison. If this was a Sentai robot, especially modern day Sentai, like it would have those, those bright colors and everything, of course. It would probably be red, like probably. With that being said, I want to say the Gavarion trigger has a little more sounds, but at the same time, it does have those attack only emul gears that really lack in the sounds. Like, I would say, at least, I would say all the Sentai rings have more sounds compared to those attack emul gears. So, as far as playability goes, like, Gavarion Trigger beats TEGA Sword, but not by much. And the reason why I say that the Gavarion Trigger wins by a bit is mostly because of being, the transformation of it all. Transforming from the gun to the ship mode, even though that's very simple, like you can do that. Putting in the emul gears, that requires some, moving of Gavarion Trigger's legs and everything. But at the same time, I like the LEDs on the TEGA Sword more, so it's like, it's not that much more when it comes to playability. So overall, I have to give it to TEGA Sword Sama. Like, overall, I also like the uniqueness of TEGA Sword. I like that you put rings in a hand. Like, it's a hand sword. You put rings in because you put rings on hands, but it can also turn into a robot? Like, that's cool. That's cool. And also, personally, as a collector, I'm going to put more emphasis on the look of everything anyways. So yeah, TEGA Sword, sorry y'all, like TEGA Sword Sama wins in my book. Now, is this also because I might have Super Sentai bias? Yeah, probably, possibly, I don't know. But, I'm biased towards Sentai because, well, it's lasted longer. It's been with me for most of my life. And it's just very colorful and pretty and shiny. I don't know what do you want me to tell you? Now, keep in mind, these are just my opinions, of course. Totally just my opinions, right? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please be nice. I know there's a whole war between Sentai fans and Project Red fans right now, which is weird because I thought y'all were the same, but hey, whatever. But let me know what y'all think. Do you prefer the Gavarion Trigger, or do you prefer TEGA Sword? Let me know. I want to know what you think. I want to know your reasons why you prefer one over the other, or maybe you like both of them. I don't know. But thank you all so much, everyone, for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on our social media networks below. We also have a Discord, so make sure toys, collectibles, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next time.